In today's video, I'm gonna show you a dope animation, which you can see here. I have no idea how it's gonna turn out, but it's gonna be heavily inspired by what I've created yesterday for my upcoming product, for the promo of my upcoming product. I'm pumped for this tutorial. I hit the gym, I got a monster. If you think that there's something better than the green monster, you're insane. So with that being said, we're gonna get straight into Adobe After Effects. So I already got a composition ready. Jesus, I'm speaking so fast, I have to slow down. So we got 1080 by 1920, let's hit OK. So the first thing I'm gonna do is grab the rectangle tool and we're gonna create such a shape. We're gonna recenter, and for some reason anchor point is not in the right position. And then what we're gonna do is head over to the stroke, change to solid color, and then we're also gonna turn on the solid on the fill color. So the next thing we need to do is decrease the stroke width, and we're gonna change the color over here to white. Next, we're gonna head over to fill, and we're gonna change the opacity to 10%. As I'm looking at this, I feel like we could actually decrease the stroke width a bit more. And also one thing I would do is unchain this, and you would just make it a bit smaller. So now we're gonna grab the pen tool and I'm gonna type in editing shift. Then I'm gonna change the font to Montserrat, and we're gonna probably pick black. Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the caps and let's recenter. Then we're gonna change the font size, and something like that should do. Then we could probably pre-compose that layer. I'm gonna call it text, hit enter. I'm gonna go into that comp, and here we need to hit Ctrl K, and we're gonna decrease the width and also the height. Height is not as important, but it's just gonna make it easier for your computer. We're gonna go back, and here if I add motion tile effect and then increase output width, we're gonna achieve such look. So I'm just gonna go back, hit Ctrl K, and I'm gonna decrease width so it's closer to each other. So now if we go back, it's gonna look like that. And now we're gonna go to the position, create a keyframe, and actually the starting position is gonna look somehow like that. And then we're just gonna drag it towards the right. I just want a subtle movement, so it's kind of like a banner. Okay, the thing is that we need to duplicate shape layer 1, go to properties, contents, rectangle, fill, and change the opacity to 100%. And then here we're gonna turn off the visibility for the stroke. Now we're gonna hit F4, and I'm gonna go to track matte and change it to shape layer 2. So that way the text is gonna remain within the frame. Okay, you know what? I can actually extend it just in case if the animation was longer. And what I'm gonna do is select all these three, pre-compose, call it banner, and hit enter. So now we're ready to create a new camera. I'm gonna head over here. Guess which one? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to type it in a comment. You've done it already? Let's take 24mm. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go for 35. Then we're gonna create a new null object, parent the camera to the null, drag underneath, and we're gonna change the color. Now I'm gonna turn on the 3D layer, and we're gonna put this somewhere on the bottom, then duplicate and put it on top. All right. Then we're gonna probably move it away with Z position, and I'm gonna scale it up. Then we need to make some adjustments, just like that. And just to make it more 3D, I'm gonna go to rotation, change it to -30 in Y rotation, and then in the other banner it's gonna be on the opposite side, so I'm gonna type in 30. So that's what we have. So now we're gonna type in another text. Let's say shop now. Never too little of the promotion. Alright, so we're gonna bump up the font size and we're gonna turn it into 3D. Now we're gonna head over here and I'm gonna pick the rounded rectangle tool and we're gonna create such a shape. Here I'm gonna recenter, then we're gonna actually leave it like it is. Here we can head over to rectangle and decrease the fill to, let's say, 20%. This is gonna be separate from the other layers, so I'm just gonna cancel out. And we're gonna type in the new text, which is gonna be level, then recenter. We're gonna obviously bump up the font size, and I'm gonna also add another text, which is gonna be up. Level up, bro. Then as for that text, I feel like we could head over here, grab the rectangle tool, and we're just gonna cut out the upper part. I'm gonna hit F, and we're gonna feather it out. Ooh, that looks nice. We could probably head over to the shape, right click, go to layer styles, inner shadow, and just decrease the opacity to 25%, go to distance, change it to 0, and bump up the size. It's barely visible because the fill is at 20%, so I'm gonna quickly head over here and we're just gonna change it to 50. Still barely visible. Let's do it like that. Pretty cool. I'm gonna bump up the stroke width a little bit, and it should do. Right, then we're gonna select all these layers, pre-compose, call it level up, and we're gonna turn it into 3D. I'm gonna unsell out this layer, and we just want to put it somewhere in the background behind our shop now text. We're gonna put it somewhere here, do it like that, and then on the opposite side. I could be more precise with the values, but yeah, screw that. Okay, that's gonna be pretty cool. As I'm looking at the banners, I think I went overboard with them. We could change this to -10 and then this to 10. We're also gonna bump up the scale. And as for these two banners, I'm gonna hit T and we're gonna decrease the opacity. Playing around with the opacity is making the scene look so much better, so I'd highly recommend trying that. So you know what, as I'm looking at this, we could actually duplicate these two. Actually, what I'm gonna do is hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and ooh, I kind of wanted to take them and put them like that, but I'm thinking this looks pretty good. I'm gonna leave it like that. Let me just see in the second view how it looks. All right, so that's what we have. I'm gonna leave it like it is for now. We'll see if it needs any fixing later on. And we're gonna create the first movement, which is gonna be with our cam control. I'm gonna hit P, create a keyframe, move forward, and then we're gonna move backwards by decreasing the value in Z position. Now I'm gonna select both, easy ease, go to the graph editor, and we're just gonna create a pick on the left. So that's how it's looking. I'm gonna go back. Jeez, it's extremely slow. We need to make it faster. Pretty cool. I'm gonna make one more adjustment, which is probably squeezing that pick even more. So we have literally kind of like a slingshot. Much better. I just added one animation from the upcoming pack, so look at that. Jeez, it's really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I have to hype you up for the upcoming things. And also if I hype you up, it's gonna force me to create it faster. So I really have to get the job done. Then as for these level ups, we're gonna also decrease the opacity. Let's say 50%. I don't know where we're gonna go from there, but let's try something out. I'm gonna hit Ctrl D for the cam control, hit U, delete the last keyframe, parent 1 to 2, move forward, hit U for reference, and we're gonna move maybe with rotation. So we're gonna keyframe all the values here, and we're gonna just start playing around with the values. Okay, probably not the best idea. Let's go lower. It's so bad. Let's use the mid graph and we're gonna squeeze in the distance. Okay, it looks absolutely horrible, but we're gonna just create something out of it. I'm just thinking maybe duplicating these two and putting them in front of the screen would be a good idea. So let's say they're gonna be somewhere here. I'm gonna go to rotation, actually to orientation, and we're gonna reset all the values. Now we're gonna put this one somewhere here, then the other one on the top, and maybe let's drag it a little bit further away, then scale it up. And what we're gonna do is just seeing how it looks from the side. Okay, so one is further away than the other, so we want to have them aligned. And we're gonna create a simple movement with position. So I'm just gonna separately adjust them. So this one is gonna go here, then the other one is gonna go to the left, and we kind of want to slide them across the screen. So for this, I'm gonna drag it there, and then this one is gonna go. Now we're gonna select both, and what we need to do is kind of slow down the movement in the middle. So for this, we need to go here, and we're just gonna drag it upwards, and then the other one also upwards. The speed graph is horrible for these type of things, but it is what it is. You know what? I'm gonna use flow. I'm gonna just pick this graph. So that's how it's looking on the speed graph. See, so it's perfectly slowing down. Let's adjust the timing. And what would you say if we came back to shop now? So we're gonna hit Ctrl D, delete all the last keyframes, parent 2 to 3, and we're gonna go back. Jeez, and adjusting the values right now is a nightmare, but we're gonna somehow do it. Okay, let's select all, and we're gonna apply the mid graph. The only thing I don't like is that it's kind of stopping here. We have a hard stop over here. So for this, I'm gonna hit U, and we're gonna extend the keyframes, and let's see now. Yeah, a bit better. I need some energy to figure out the next step. Dude, if Monster was sponsoring me, I think I would take it. No, I mean, just drink water, to be honest. Don't be me. I would just make this movement faster. So we're gonna go here, go to the graph editor, go to the speed graph, and what we're gonna do is squeeze in the peak. So make sure to select all the keyframes here and just squeeze it in. Yeah, that's better. And then right at this position, when we got that very fast movement, we're gonna add deep glow, but it's gonna happen later on. And as for these four, we're gonna add keyframe for position, and we're just gonna slide them in. So this one is gonna go to the left, then this one to the right, and we're gonna do it accordingly to the top two. Okay, we also need to use a graph here, so we're just gonna do it like that, squeezing the peak on the left. Pretty cool. A little bit of movement in the background is making so much difference to the scene. Okay, I think we're ready to add a light, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to new, light, and actually this is the preset I've used yesterday, so I'm just gonna hit OK. You can copy this. I actually didn't use that. I think I used something different, which was ambient. Yeah, that way we can see the editing shift in the background. And also it's too intense. We're We're just gonna decrease the intensity. Let's hit OK. We could also do something like that light is popping up whenever we're creating that fast zoom. So somewhere here, we could add the light. Actually a pretty cool idea. Okay, maybe 1 frame or 2 later. And right at this position where the light starts, we can hit Ctrl-Shift-D, and we're gonna restart After Effects. I have a good day. I'm not gonna get angry that After Effects crashed. All right, so here we're gonna add deep glow. Then we're gonna obviously bump up the radius, and we're gonna decrease the exposure. Let's see now. Ooh. Then we're gonna head over to the camera and we're gonna actually turn off the effect for now. I'm gonna go to transform, alt-click point of interest, type in wiggle. You already know the procedure. 2,20. Okay, that's nice. Then on top we're gonna add a new adjustment layer. I'm gonna rename it to exposure, add the effect. We're gonna alt-click, then type in wiggle, and in brackets, let's say 12,0.4. Okay, pretty cool. Then the procedure is adding vignette. I'm gonna rename the layer. Ooh, that's looking really nice here. Then we're gonna add one more adjustment layer over here. I'm gonna add Gaussian blur, increase the value, change it to horizontal. Let's see now. Then we're gonna duplicate it, put it here, change it to vertical. Okay, that's looking way better now. We could actually bump up the value over here to make it more intense, and maybe here as well, just a bit. I wanna see it with the motion blur on. Some people in the comments hated unposterized time, but guess what I'm gonna do? Let's just see. Maybe it's gonna be better. Alright, 18. Honestly, I don't even know what's better at this point. You know what? I'm gonna do you a favor and I'm gonna delete it. And just to add some sort of a flash or a light leak, I'm gonna add something from Predator Pack. Let's go to light leaks, HD, maybe long. I really like this one. Let's drop it on the timeline. And what we're gonna do is change the mode to screen. That's how it's looking, but we need to make it faster. Let's trim it somewhere in the middle and see. Okay, pretty cool. Also to match the scene a bit more, I'm gonna add tint. Okay, but then we don't really see our Gaussian blur effect. So let's put it maybe here. It's all about small adjustments. Okay, pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna go to our exposure, go to effects, we're gonna go to master, open this, and we're gonna change the value over here to 8 and then here to 0.2 or maybe 0.3. It's more subtle, which is better. Alright, I'm gonna hit N and we're gonna export that beauty. Let me just rename the layer here, Gaussian blur, and here as well. So here we got the final effect. Hopefully you enjoyed this one and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers guys.